Today, my friends, I have for you a Town Hall 11 Queen Charge Lavaloon attack strategy guide. This is going to teach you guys exactly how you guys can use this strategy effectively and how you guys can use this with different ways of doing so. Specifically with quad, quake, and jump, probably two of the best ways of using this type of an attack. We're going to be taking a look at a couple different base designs, but we're going to be breaking down this base design right here so that then you guys can understand how you guys can use this attack strategy more properly. So with that being said, let's jump straight into the guide. So like I said at the beginning of the video, obviously we are going to be going over this attack strategy, but not just that, but we're looking at mainly quad quake and jump spells being used. In this example right here, we have a quad quake. Quad quake is probably one of the best spells in terms of, looking for that entry point and opening walls. It's a little bit more reliable than wall breakers or jump, since all you have to do is open it up, make sure that you've set a funnel, and then she can enter into the base and it's open permanently. I mean, just like wall breakers, but wall breakers, there's a little bit more timing involved. Definitely got to make sure that you are really taking a look at the base. Now notice something right here. There's the quad quake, but they're only level 2 from this attacker. So obviously not maxed, so it's going to be a lot smaller in radius. So that's something that you need to think about. Upgrading your quad quake is going to really be a massive help in terms of opening up more. A max quake spell that you can get at Town Hall 11 is going to give you access to getting out, I believe, at least 10 layers of walls. So that can really be a huge help. Now, in terms of a Lavaloon, what are going to be your key objectives? Specifically, the king or the queen and CC are going to be your two primary. Everything else is icing on the cake. Specifically funneling and also stuff like multi-inferno, wizard towers, expos, air sweepers, archer towers, and air defenses are all going to be huge in terms of different value. And also pulling up any traps if possible. Even if it's accidental from those healers. But let's take a look at this base design and say, alright, how do we want to enter into this base? Specifically, we want to first take a look at where's going to be our entry point. Where's the queen? That's really important. So, and also, where can we quad quake to get value from? And it's a little bit easier. So we can tell from right here, if we walk her this way, if we don't need to exactly charge into this air defense right here. But what we want to do is we want to walk our queen through this air defense. So then we're going in this direction, and then we want her to walk into here using the quad quake right here. This allows us to break into this eagle compartment. As you can tell, it cannot be targeted from the outside, from outside these walls. Other than that, it can be targeted within. So that's why the quad quake is a good option here. And sometimes jump is a better option, but on this base design specifically, the quad quake was going to be a lot better. Now, in terms of this also, what are those number of loons? We're going to show you guys when the Lavaloon portion does arise, but it gives you guys a really good example of how you guys can use this a little bit more effectively. Notice that we do have a giant, and that's actually going to be used to tank for the queen on that cannon. It's alright if she's being targeted by the archer tower, but as long as it's not the cannon, it's completely fine. So 100%. We want to try and make sure that we're keeping that queen alive and getting as much value as possible. So as long as there's maybe like at least one archer tower on her, it's completely fine. Now you can see from that quad quake right there, it opens up the base. It allows the queen to get in. We want to close the other side of the funnel with with the king. Make sure that he's going this way instead of going in the base with the queen. She could have her healer stolen, and that could really be a no-no. In terms of this, another really quick thing to keep in mind is the rage spells. The rage spells should be used over the healers and the queen, not just to heal the queen, not just to have the queen do more DPS, but also get her through the base design, or through the base, and also dealing with the enemy CC and enemy queen, like you saw right there. Now let's pause it right here, and we're going to talk about the number of loons that you're going to need per defense. So on the screen, you're going to see for Town Hall 11, the number of loons that you're going to need per defense. And this is really important because let's say from these loons right here, we're going into this one, so we've got a couple loons going in, but now we've also got to think about this next building here. That's the next closest structure. So what that means is we're going to need a few more loons. It's 3 and then 4, so we may want to bring 5 or 6. The only reason is we have no idea what's in this little area here. There could be a black bomb. There could be a red air mine. We don't know, but all we can safely say that there could be a trap there, and we need to bring just a couple more loons for that part of it, so that then the loons here can go here, here, and then they'll probably split or do something like that. But that gets you guys the understanding of the pathing with the loons. So that's something that you guys need to consider when you guys are doing this. But remember that you want to use your lava hounds to tank for the air defenses. And also, if we pause this again, let's take a look at the air defense placement right here. Notice that it's being covered by 2 archer towers. It's being covered by the wizard tower and 2 expos. That's some good value right there for the lava hound to be tanking. That can really provide some good value as the Lavaloon portion moves through. So if we take a look at the other side, we can tell that there is a multi-inferno and 2 archer towers that are going to be covering that multi-inferno. So that's covering that air defense. That's really, really important stuff, because if you don't notice where those air defenses are, they can really put a damper onto your attack. Specifically, since it could really call for, you know, that might not be a good area to use a lava hound in, since it's really not tanking for absolutely anything. So definitely you want to try and take a look at that as much as possible. You also notice that the stone slammer came in a little bit later, so it's basically used kind of as that extra loon as you move through, but you still want to use it with your Lavaloon portion. You almost probably can't get through the base without it, so 100% bring in a stone slammer either first thing or last. You really want to try and make sure that you're doing that. But this gives you guys a very solid option using a quad quake. Even though it's low level, 4 earthquake spells can clear up any level walls. So just keep that in mind. Just remember though, upgrading your earthquake is going to be really huge. So we've got a couple more examples here for you guys, so let's go ahead and take a look at those. So on this base design right here, we can tell that there is a jump spell in this army composition, so this gives us a good example of using the jump here. Now, you may be asking, why was a loon just used right there? Why are we wasting a loon there? Specifically, we're just checking if there are any black mines. So this is going to help us a lot in terms of finding the right, or not finding that specific bomb, because you never know if there could be a small or a black bomb there that could hit your healers, and now you're down to 4 or even 3. So you want to try and keep as many healers on them alive, especially since you should probably already tell that there are going to be some black mines in the base itself. So you just keep that in mind when you guys are doing this. So a jump spell here specifically used to not just get the CC, but notice that we're also getting that multi-inferno. We've gotten an air defense, so that's good value. And also we want to get that enemy queen. Now also notice this, we are going to be going into an area where there is a ground expo. You can deal with these as long as there's only 1. If there are 2, you might be out of luck. In terms of this, also remember that you want to try and keep that queen alive, so pop her ability when necessary. So if you feel like you need to pop it, pop her queen's ability. Pop your queen's ability. Now, rage spells, remember to use them specifically when the queen is dealing with the CC, if it's a damage CC, and also dealing with the queen. I was kind of stuttering there, but should be completely fine right there. So as we can see from the example, we have the Lavaloon portion moving in. I didn't mention the Grand Warden. I completely forgot about him. The Grand Warden, his ability should be used in order to protect all of the loons as they move into the base. So making sure that you can keep the loons alive under that Grand Warden, also having his life aura, having that extra bit of HP, can really be a huge help as you move through. Just remember that you want to use that Grand Warden's ability over the back end of the base, either when you're charging into a multi-inferno or you're being hit by a lot of DPS, for instance, the Eagle Artillery. You guys want to really make sure to keep that Grand Warden with those group of loons as they move in through the base, so then they can basically do a lot of or well, they can just clear up the rest of the base. That's kind of what I wanted to say. But other than that, it gives you guys a really nice example of using a jump spell, and you can notice actually one rage was not used. So obviously with this, it's a very strong it's a very, very strong option. Just really, really good in terms of this. So I would highly encourage you guys really try out with the jump or even the quad quake. Let's take a look at another example with this attack. So we've got another example here with the jump spell this time, or well, with the jump spell again. And specifically with this is that we want to make sure that we have a solid funnel set. We can tell that the enemy queen is all the way over here. So how are we going to deal with the queen who's that far away? And also, how are we going to get values? This is a really, really interesting base design to kind of take a look at, since you realistically don't know how you're going to get value from your attack. So we want to really make sure that we do set that funnel for the queen. We want to make sure that we're using the jump properly, but also we want to make sure that we know that where that queen's going to path. So obviously she went here, and then she's going to start moving into the base like this. So that's specifically really important. Now the rage spells, now they don't just have to be used when you're entering into the CC like radius, but also you really want to try and make sure that you're getting as much value as possible and keeping the queen alive, especially as she's going through infernos, if the inferno is locked onto the healers. Notice that on this base, the dead zone here actually connects to where that queen is. It's going to make it very, very easy for this queen to get the enemy queen. And you can see from right there, using the rage to keep the queen alive with under those healers, and also making sure that she can deal with that CC proper, or with the CC and queen properly. So as we starting to send everything in, we have our Stone Summer going in first, so that then it could send in a couple more loons as it goes through, and then we also have the hounds tanking for those loons as they move in through the base. Remember that pathing is always going to be critical, so they're always going to move to the next closest structure as they go through the base. The Grand Warden's ability obviously popped over the multi-inferno, so that then the loons and even the queen herself actually were able to get into his Eternal Tome, and was able to completely stay invincible and get through the rest of the base. And that's specifically what you want to do. This is the second example where you saw the Eternal Tome being used over the multi-inferno, or near that multi-inferno. That's what you want to use with this. So make sure that you're doing so when you guys are using this type of an attack. But it gives you guys another really solid option. We've got one last example here for you guys to exactly learn how you guys can use the Queen Charge Lavaloon to be really successful with this really strong strategy. So in this last example here, what we want to really take a look at is when is going to be a quad quake really good. So in terms of this, we want to take a look at how the base is laid out, so that then this can basically offer us some good value. Specifically, if we take a look at this base design right here, you can actually tell that this is a good quad quake, or around this area here is a good quad quake area. Why is this? Well, since the patch to those obstacles, it means that this eagle not just is walkable, but how the base is designed, with the queen being right near the eagle and the CC also being right near the eagle, it just offers the attacker a lot of value as he moves in. Notice that you can get the queen, eagle, CC, expos, wizard towers, even getting air supers from that. That can really be a huge help, and that's the power of a level 5 quad quake, as you can tell, basically just opening that entire area up where that eagle was. That's extremely important. Using the rage over the healers and the queen in order to keep her alive as they enter into the base. And just, you can obviously tell from here, just a very solid entry with the queen walk. That's what you want with your attack. So definitely learn that, especially. Take a look at the base. Can you quad quake? Can you get as much value as possible? And just look at how the base is laid out. So as you're sending in the Lavaloon, make sure that you're trying to get as much value as possible. If a hound pops and pulls the tornado trap, that is huge value, because that can really help a lot. Now in terms of this also, what about dealing with the dealing with freeze and with this attack strategy. Remember freeze value, so try to freeze over multi-inferno, specifically multi-inferno, since you know those loons are really going to be weak to that. So, but still try to get as much freeze value as possible because it can really help your attack as you move through. But we can obviously tell from here that this base is a done deal, and again, I don't have to elaborate a lot on this. This strategy is really strong, and it gives you guys a really unique way of doing so with the quad Quake. You saw one with a non-max quad Quake, and now you saw one with a max quad Quake, so it gives you guys a really good option. So that's going to do it, guys, for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, leave a like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you guys don't miss anything. And also, let me know in the comments below if you guys want to go ahead and see another video like this, another Lavaloon here at Town 11 or even at Town 10. Please let me know. Also, feel free to go ahead and follow me on Twitter at _CorruptYT, and feel free to join any of the clans that I showcased here on the here in this video. I have a link to all the clans I cover in the description. They are all recruiting, so definitely go ahead and check them out. They're all recruiting for next season. With the Town 13 update coming soon, it's definitely going to be a huge thing. So with that being said, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.